Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shelly Speaks Truth right here on TooRawForTV.tv. If you are here for the first time, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Now, what we usually do around here for a portion of the show is we do stream from other social media platforms, and that usually includes Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X sometimes, TikTok sometimes, the usual suspects. But that is not for the entirety of the show. If you would like to see the entire show, you will have to come over to 2rawfortv.tv, and that is where you will see the entire show. And that is the number 2, Raw, the number 4, TV.tv. And before I get into the show tonight, I do want to say something. If you've been here for a little bit and you're familiar with the content and you're liking what you see here, I do humbly ask that you consider getting a membership. You can get a membership for as little as $3.99 a month. And what that does is, for one, it helps me stay on the air. Helps me stay on the air. If you're enjoying the content, we got to be able to stay on the air. And with your support, we can definitely do that. In a little bit, towards the end of the show, I'm going to explain a little bit more in detail why it's very important that we have platforms like 2rawfortv.tv. Because if you are a person that consumes lots of content like me, you understand how these major other platforms, how they work. And, there's a lot of filtering and things like that with these other platforms. So there's definitely a need for 2rawfortv.tv. But like I said, in a little bit, I'll explain a little bit more in detail why it's extremely important for platforms like this to exist. So again, if you are enjoying the content and you would like to support me and the show and the network, please consider getting a paid membership. It really will go a long way, and it really will help the platform to grow and expand and stay on the air. Now, with that being said, I want to jump right into tonight's topic because I spoke about this maybe about a month or so ago, the controversy that broke out with Snoop Dogg, where he did an interview earlier early August, I believe it was, where he said he took his grandson to the movies to watch the movie Lightyear, which was a spinoff of Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
Yeah, I remember that.
And in that movie, they had a same-sex couple. I believe one of the characters had 2 mothers. And his grandson was kind of confused and was like, well, Grandpa, how does this kid have 2 mothers? Basically, where's the father? And Snoop said that he felt uncomfortable because he didn't know how to explain that particular dynamic to his grandson. And boy, did social media light up. There were a lot of people that were angry with his comments. And, he said that he almost felt like he doesn't want to go to the movies anymore because he doesn't want to be in a position where he doesn't know how to explain to, I believe his grandson is like 6 or 7 years old, so he doesn't really know how to explain that particular dynamic to a child that is so young. Obviously, that would be quite confusing to a child of that age who may not be very exposed to that, who may be more so around what you would call the traditional family dynamic, mother, father, that sort of thing. And as we do know, our world has changed drastically, so there are many different types of families. But again, I could understand Snoop's perspective about how he would be kind of perplexed and unprepared to explain that to a child so young who's obviously going to be extremely confused about that. But just recently, Snoop did something. He kind of did a 180 that has people very confused. For those of you who don't know, Snoop has a children's network on YouTube called Doggyland. It's children's programming, different educational things and things like that. And what Snoop did was he partnered up with an LGBTQ singer that I can't remember the guy's name right now. I put it in the description for the show. But he was a contestant on one of those popular singing shows, The Voice, I believe it is. And Snoop did partner up with him. He is of the LGBTQ community, and they put together a show and a song on Snoop's network called Love is Love. It had a same-sex couple in that, I guess it was a video. I haven't seen it myself, but I did read up a little bit about it online. But anyway, the name of the song is Love is Love, and it had a video to go with it and things like that. And a lot of people are like, well, just a couple of months ago, you had a completely different perspective on this. So what happened? What caused that shift in perspective? And for me, and this is no shade, no tea to the LGBTQ community, but Hollywood, and as some people like to call Hollyweird, is heavily controlled by people in the LGBTQ community, and Snoop is in the Hollywood arena. So me personally, this is my perspective and this is my opinion. What it seems like to me is that, someone higher up within the industry got in his ear and was like, okay, you need to course correct this, because you know how it is. And I want to say this, I don't have any issues with anybody's lifestyle. I'm for the most part, I'm a live and let live type of person. Not with everything. There's certain things that are off limits, like harming children and things like that. But for the most part, I don't go out and go on a tirade against what consenting adults choose to do with their life. But what I notice about the LGBTQ community is that the respect that they want to receive from the public, a lot of times they don't want to give that respect in return.
Shelly, can I chime in real quick?
Okay.
Did you not want to play the video?
What video?
The video that you're talking about, the
Doggyland?
Yeah.
You can play it if you want to. I didn't, post it or anything like that because I haven't watched it. But if you have the video, you can go ahead and play it.
I think it's important for context. So I just since you started talking about it, so you want to play it? I got it.
If you got it queued on up, you can go ahead and play it.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if sure.
You ain't homophobic or not, right?
Really? I probably should be asking you that question. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and play the video.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Same, but the one thing that's for certain is the love won't change. Families are special, they are so unique. Everybody's got a purpose more than what you see. We love you, parents, we love you so. We appreciate you, you ought to know. We love our family, we love our friends. What makes us special is that we're different, different. Love is love, love is love, love is love, yeah, love is love. Love who you are, love is love, love is love, yeah, love is love. Whoever you are, who you are. Love, 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 love who you
didn't play the whole thing, but I haven't seen the same-sex couple that's supposed to be in this video.
they were in the
There's no
beginning.
debate.
Oh,
How we relate.
okay.
Love is patient, love is grace, love is safe, a real
They
magical
started
place.
out.
I'm proud to love, I'm proud of you. I love my parents, they love you too.
I think it was important to play for context.
Well, apparently there was a same-sex couple in the music video. And that got people, people have different outlooks on that. Like I said, I'm not the person that's going to sit up here and just spiral out of control because someone lives their life a way that I don't understand, and I'm not even going to say agree, because nobody has to live their life for you to agree with the way they choose to live.
So since you didn't see the same-sex video, I'm just going to put it on the screen real quick so you can see it. I mean, the same-sex couple. That's how the video started.
Okay. Yeah, but more so than the same-sex couple type situation that's going on there. What I'm more concerned about is, like I was saying before we played the video, is that I've been noticing this a lot coming from the LGBTQ community, is that they demand that people respect them. They demand that people give them their lane. They demand visibility. But when someone, wants to state their point of view, then all hell breaks loose. And like I said before, I honestly feel like some higher ups in Hollywood, stepped to Snoop and basically told him that he needed to kind of clean that up. Because again, the LGBTQ community, they don't tolerate when they feel like they're being ostracized or criticized, and Snoop honestly didn't really say anything that was too far out of the way. Like, what Snoop said wasn't homophobic, but people went straight to homophobic. And I really don't like when that happens, because what I feel like is that it's kind of a way to bully people into just not saying anything, or, if they feel a certain type of way about something, you kind of shun them and silence them by putting that homophobic label on them, because at the end of the day, people don't like to be labeled, especially when they're not what it is that you're calling them. So, Snoop did say that, basically he wasn't being homophobic. He just really didn't know how to explain that to his grandson. And people still took that as being homophobic. Now, like I said, it comes across as bullying when you don't allow people to have the opportunity to say how they feel, but you want to have all the respect from the general public. I just don't see how that's fair. I think that's very, I feel like that's extremely hypocritical for you to say, okay, the general public needs to respect us, respect the way we choose to live our lives. Again, we need to have visibility in media because we exist in this nation with the rest of the nation. So we shouldn't have to hide our lifestyle, and we shouldn't have to hide who we are. And, to a degree, I can go along with that.
Yeah, that's fine. No, it's fine. Do your thing.
But when it becomes a situation where it seems like you all are ganging up on people and dogpiling on them, and everything they say that you don't agree with, you want to hit them with the homophobic label, that really isn't fair.
Right.
And, the same way you feel like we should be able to live how we live without being scrutinized, you all got to stop scrutinizing people when they say something that you don't agree with.
That's my thing. That's my biggest complaint with that with the community, right? It's like, I don't have no problem with you living your life, but when you have a problem with the way I live my life.
That's interesting. Why do you say that?
Because there's things that I don't agree with, that I don't have a problem with speaking up against. Just like there's things that you don't agree with that you don't have a problem living your life out against.
True.
So if I can respect your existence, you need to respect mine, and not try to force your beliefs onto me.
That's my thing. Like, if for the LGBTQ community, if you want your beliefs to be respected, you want your lifestyle to be respected, you want your existence to be respected, you got to do the same thing for other people. And, it's kind of a thing where they're like, it's not the same thing because people don't want them to exist. And you do have that element of society that doesn't want the LGBTQ community to exist. I'm not going to say that that's not true.
Yeah, but we can't make rules for the majority because of the minority.
True enough. But when they're saying that, there is some validity to it, because there's really no one walking around saying they don't think heterosexual people shouldn't exist. So it's not the exact same thing, but it becomes a situation where they are contradicting themselves, because in one breath they will say, okay, people need to let us live and let us be who we are. But like I said, when someone says something that you don't like, when you feel like, you can't have your way with everything, then we have this thing where people are being scrutinized. And when you have a person like Snoop Dogg, who is in the public eye, I personally feel like, even though he's Snoop, he's already well established, but obviously he still wants to be in that industry. And I don't think that his place in the industry should be jeopardized because he has a perspective that's not in alignment, well, at least didn't have a perspective before we saw this video that they just created. Didn't have a perspective that was 100% in alignment with the LGBTQ community. It can't be a thing like, we're going to force your hand and make you comply with us. And we see that in different aspects too, not just in the entertainment industry, because we have the situation where, you had the T in LGBTQ. Okay, so the T in LGBTQ is for trans. Don't say that.
Huh?
Don't say that.
Don't say what?
That's not nice. That's rude. Transformer is not what that means. Anyway, the LGBTQ, the T is for transgender. We saw that, and I even experienced, I guess I won't call it being attacked, but somebody did come for me some years back when I had my show on YouTube. They came for me, and they were like, they called me ignorant and all these types of things, because it's my belief, just like it's several other people, they don't believe that men who transition into women should be in women's sports.
No, you shouldn't.
And then they say, well, they take the hormones and, they get rid of the testosterone. I don't think that you can.
Broad. Your shoulders are still broad. Your shoulders are still broad.
I feel like you can take different medications and things like that, but I don't think that
your shoulders don't
naturally you'll be able to, like, and I could be wrong, but I just don't feel like your biological makeup, you can ever completely diminish that.
Right. Your shoulders don't shrink.
So, it became a thing where it was extremely dangerous for trans women to be in women's sports. And then you had the people who were coming out saying trans women are women. So then it became a thing like you're discriminating against trans women because they're women.
So let me ask this question. If trans women are women, why is the trans before the women?
You can't ask me that question because I don't have an answer for that.
I'm asking the audience.
Well, they're saying
the audience
that
can help us. The comments is live.
The phone line is open, I
Oh
believe.
yeah, what's the phone line?
470-666-2194.
And we're still on social media. So,
Oh, we are? Well,
yeah.
they haven't kicked us off yet.
Well, I don't know, but
Oh.
we're still sending the stream.
Oh, okay.
So, but we gotta cut that off because we're 20 minutes in.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, 470. If you're watching from social media, you have to come over to 2rawfortv.tv. That is the number 2 raw, the number 4 tv.tv. You must come over here to see the entirety of the show. So come on over. We're dropping off the other platforms. Come on over to 2rawfortv.tv. If you want to call, 470-666-2194.
All right.
All right, so yeah, like I was saying, it became this big thing where if you don't want the trans women to be in women's sports, then you're discriminating against the trans women. And it's kind of like, no, I don't think people necessarily want to discriminate against trans women. Just biologically, it's not really safe for women to be fighting with, because even like with the boxing, that was the one that a lot of people were concerned about. Like, I mean, you have these trans women, but they transition from being